Before the video starts, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you know anyone around you who has never had any cosmetic surgery? After watching today's video, feel free to discuss this in the comments. This girl is Zhou Chuna, a Chinese influencer. She is the youngest person in China to undergo cosmetic surgery, and also the first Gen Z girl in China to openly share her plastic surgery journey, including jaw shaving, smile lip surgery, lower eyelid surgery, elf ears, high skull top. You name it, she has done almost every trendy cosmetic procedure. Whether it used to be popular or still is. According to her own account, she went through over 300 procedures in just 2 years, spending over 4 million yuan. For a while, the topic of appearance anxiety and its trend among younger people was heavily discussed on Chinese social media. But hundreds of surgeries didn't actually make her prettier. On the contrary, her facial features became disproportionate, and she faced lots of criticism online. On the show, she herself admitted regretting it deeply. She said, "Liposuction caused her loose skin all over her body. Her facial nerves were damaged during jaw shaving surgery, which made her unable to make large facial expressions. The corner of her eyes was cut too wide, so now she cannot fully close her eyes when she sleeps." Everyone online was curious. Why? At an age where she should be focusing on school, was Zhou Chuna so obsessed with her appearance and constantly getting surgery? Her obsession with plastic surgery is actually closely linked to her childhood experience. When she was still in kindergarten, one time she accidentally put off a pretty classmate's hairband. Before she could even say sorry, a little boy ran up to her and called her ugly and told her not to play with them. This incident left a huge scar on young Zhou Chuna's heart. It made her aware of beauty and the ugliness and planted a deep seed of inferiority inside her. As a child, she dreamed of having a new face. Later on, her parents sent her to an international school in Shanghai. The girls in her class all had big, beautiful eyes. With her small, narrow eyes, she felt even more inferior. When it came to cleaning duties, she always got assigned the dirtiest and hardest part, while the pretty girls got easy work. The boys treated the pretty girls very nicely, just like princess. But behind her back, they gave Zhou Chuna lots of cruel nicknames. So in her small school world, Zhou Chuna witnessed firsthand how people are treated differently based on looks. So she made up her mind to get plastic surgery. And her mom worked in the beauty industry, and without thinking it through, just took her get double eyelid surgery. At this point, I want to say that her mom made a terrible decision. Plastic surgery for minors should be strictly controlled and even forbidden. Parents should think very carefully about this. After the double eyelid surgery, Zhou Chuna did look prettier, and she started making more friends. After tasting this success, she couldn't stop. She wanted to become even more beautiful. She deliberately sought out clinics known for doing exaggerated internet celebrities' styles. Since she was underage, many reputable hospitals wouldn't take her, so she had to go to the smaller, unlicensed clinics. As a result, many unqualified doctors operated on her. She experienced many failed surgeries. Almost every day, she was either getting a new procedure or on her way to one. She was never satisfied with how she looked and always wanted a new procedure. Often before even recovering from one surgery, she would schedule the next one. So this led to facial nerve damage. She could not make many facial expressions anymore. Half of her face would twitch. The corners of her eyes were cut too wide so she couldn't fully close her eyes. Honestly, I think she was way too young when she first had surgery. Her facial features hadn't even fully developed yet. Repeated surgeries at that stage caused great harm to both her body and mind. But even more blame should go to her parents. Their blind support made them heavily responsible. Plastic surgery carries risks. Everyone needs to approach it rationally and cautiously. Parents, especially, must guide their children wisely. Like I mentioned earlier, many people remain dissatisfied even after getting many plastic surgeries. They keep going back for more and more, becoming addicted. Once it starts, it's hard to stop. While I was researching the topic, the most heartbreaking case I came across was a Korean early era celebrity. Because of her frightening appearance later in life, netizens called her Fan Lady. But she used to look like this. Her name was Han Hui-hyun. She was beautiful and loved singing and performing since she was little. She was quite famous locally. So thanks to her tall figure and stunning looks, her fans used to call her Mirror Princess. After becoming famous, she wanted to make more money. So at age 21, she went to Japan alone to pursue her career. But back then, Japan's music industry was already full of talented, beautiful female singers. In Japan, Han Hui-hyun struggled. She couldn't outshine the competition in either looks or talent. Reality made her start doubling herself. One of her friends once told her that her jawbone was too wide and her face looked too big and unrefined. So Han Hui-kyung thought that if she could fix her face shape, maybe she'd have a chance in Japan entertainment industry. So that friend introduced her to an unlicensed black market doctor. The doctor suggested injecting fillers into the sides of her cheeks to make her face look rounder and less boxy. It was cheap and supposedly effective. Han Hui-hyun agreed and spent 300,000 yen for her first filler procedure. Afterward, her skin looked smoother and better. She was very satisfied. This first experience gave her huge psychological gratification. From then on, she was addicted, going back for filler injections every few months. Over the years, her face started to bloom up like an inflated balloon. When she finally realized she had been scammed, the black market doctor had already disappeared, left with no one to help. So Han Hui-kyung became obsessed and started injecting fillers herself, at much higher doses than before. By age 38, her face had become 2 to 3 times bigger. But her obsession only grew worse. She heard that injecting cooking oil could make skin smoother, so she started injecting cooking oil herself. By 2014, and 53 years old, Han Hui-hyun could no longer close her eyes. She could not open her mouth properly, and she also suffered severe headaches. When doctors examined her head, they were shocked to find a 3-centimeter thick layer of unknown liquid inside. As scary as her story is, it's not rare. These days, the beauty industry is plagued with chaos, not just in fashion and entertainment circles. In real life, many boys and girls are driven by appearance anxiety to blindly pursue cosmetic surgery, only to end up disfigured and tormented by illness. There's also this Japanese girl, Vanilla.
Hi, bonjour. 私はベルサイユ宮殿から来たフランス人形。
Some of you might know her from the news. She went viral around 2013 and appeared on many Japanese variety shows. Her most famous quote was, "Ugly people cannot survive in Japan." And she also had a clear goal. I want to look like a French doll. Even if people say I don't look like human, I don't care. To look like a doll, first, you need big eyes. So her first surgery was double eyelid surgery, costing 30,000 yen. She felt a little prettier afterward and much more confident. Encouraged, she went on to get a nose job and a chin implant. Then she learned makeup and filters, and from her photos, you could see the transformation, from an ordinary girl to someone with an exotic look. And she also noticed people treated her differently. She thought, wow, the world is so nice to pretty girls. And so she went down the road to endless plastic surgery. To afford it, she had to earn fast money, all of which she spent on surgery. By 2013, she had already done over 30 surgeries, spending 30 million yen. By 2017, she had spent about 100 million yen. And by now, it's over 300 million yen. So let's look at her face. She started with double eyelids, but later got inner and outer eye corner surgery, plus under eye fillers to create that doll-like effect. She even colored her eyes purple to complete the look. For a sharper nose, she has 7 nose surgeries by 2018. She spent 10 million yen on orthodontics and replaced all her teeth with porcelain ones. She had multiple bone shaving surgeries and even opened her scalp to add bone cement for a higher skull. This surgery left her in a coma for 2 weeks. For a smaller waist, she had 4 ribs removed. She knows that she's gone too far, but she cannot stop anymore. Even now, she lives on painkillers but still keeps getting procedures. So why did she end up like this? The answer is very similar to the first story, rooted in school bullying. She was called ugly for years. Classmates wrote her name all over her desk with correction fluid, had no one to protect her. Because when she told her dad, he just said, "You're this ugly. What else can you do but endure it?" So that time for her was a nightmare. As a child, she could not understand it was their fault. She thought, if I looked like doll, maybe this wouldn't happen. Maybe the people will treat me better. So growing up, she clung to surgery like a lifeline, trying to save herself. But no number of surgeries can heal the void inside. What she really needs isn't a plastic surgery, but to resolve her trauma. According to the public data, China's cosmetic surgery market had a staggering 92% repurchase rate. In 10 years, 200,000 people have been disfigured. They start with a nose job, then feel they need deeper eye sockets. After eye surgery, they think their lips aren't full enough. And the cycle continues. That's why the addiction rate is so high. So today's video recovered some heartbreaking stories. The characters came from different countries, but their experiences are surprisingly similar. People ask, why? Knowing the risks, cannot they just stop? Cosmetic surgery addiction isn't a physical issue. It's a psychological one. People think they are chasing beauty, but really they are trying to patch up a broken self-image. Those bullied, neglected, or belittled often see looks as their only way to prove worth. The first surgery brings praise and attention, then you crave more. But the approval fades, expectations rise, and dissatisfaction grows. It becomes a vicious cycle, like surgery, dissatisfaction, more surgery, deeper dissatisfaction, more and more surgeries. Each cut doesn't just remove part of the body, it strips away a healthy sense of self. Whether it's Zhou Chuna, or the Korean fan lady, or the Japanese doll lady, they all started with simple wishes to be liked and accepted. But without proper guidance and with unresolved trauma, they spiraled out of control, some even paying with their lives. You know what? Plastic surgery actually isn't evil. But without self-awareness and mental preparation, chasing a perfect face only leads to endless pain. In the end, true attractiveness isn't about a certain face shape or features. It's about inner strength, confidence, authenticity, and self-acceptance. So if you are considering surgery or already on this path, remember, looks are the icing, not a cake. Surgery can change your face, but not fill an empty heart. If you think you must have surgery to be happy, what you really need is to heal inside first. I hope everyone struggling with appearance anxiety finds freedom through self-acceptance, not by losing themselves on the operation table. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope you like it. Please feel free to share your stories in the comments. Let's talk, support each other, and heal together. So see you in the next time. Bye bye.